Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. Is it just you?
Yep, just me.
Okay. So what's the weather like up in Michigan today?
Oh, it's really nice, like 65, like a really nice fall day.
That's cool. We got clouds here. I'm just in Ohio. So
Okay, yeah, so not too far.
no, definitely not.
So is this gonna be like the other Ohio ones that I've done, like where people can't necessarily ask, but they're gonna be able to chat in questions?
Right. They can send in things to the Q&A. They can't, I will take my picture away once you get started.
Okay,
And you will get a list of all the people who have registered to attend, even if they don't physically make it to this session, so that
okay,
you have a way to follow up and contact them.
okay. And
So
then isn't this recorded as well?
it is, yes. It might not be due or might not be available until like a week after. So if you get a lot of comments about, I want to see it, but I can't, it's just that there are so many of them going on right now that the process is about a week out. At
Okay,
least that's what we've been told. So
okay,
yeah,
perfect.
and it's your choice whether you want to answer questions as they come in or whether you want to wait till the end, but you will be able to see them. If you choose to respond to them while you're talking, if you want to do it verbally, like in the middle, that's fine. If you want to wait till the end, that's fine as well. If you do respond to anyone, if you do it privately, then it'll go directly just to that person if it's not a question that you think the general population might want to hear.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And then, oh, can I just practice sharing my screen real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay. No, I think I want this one.
You're going. It
And
says click open
then,
Zoom meetings.
yeah, the only thing is,
There you are.
okay,
You
good.
got
I
it.
want to be able to see myself too, which is nice because
Yep.
some of them that I've done, I haven't been able to see myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking to my screen right now.
Oh, I know. Doesn't that drive you a little bit bananas? If you
Yeah.
ever get into that spot, you can ask the facilitator to do the side-by-side mode. It's what we're
Okay.
defaulting to through all the ones that I've facilitated, but if you can't see it that way, ask.
Okay, great.
Okay. And we have 45 minutes allotted. If you go past the 45 minutes, um, you know, I can't, you can't actually see anything that I type to you. I can't ask you questions, so you can't see what I'm doing.
Okay.
So I can either make myself appear again, or I can stop your sharing. Just, you know, we can do that either way. And at the
Yeah.
beginning, I will show a slide to the audience, and then
Okay.
at the end, there'll be another one.
Okay, then I'll
So,
stop sharing my screen right now.
oh, that's
Okay, that's perfect. And then, here. And then the only other thing I wanted to ask was if I don't go the full 45 minutes, like that's fine too, right?
correct. You don't have to. I mean, I had somebody go 15.
Oh,
So she was in a
okay.
hurry. But yeah, no, you go however long. I mean, because it's hard when you don't have an audience to react to and you're not
I
getting a ton of
know.
questions. I mean, I've done a couple of these where the person and I were the only two that attended live. So, you
And
know,
then they just record it.
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm thinking. Like, I'm just gonna go through, and I do have two videos to show as well,
Okay.
short videos.
Okay.
I mean, I might last half an hour, and then obviously if there are questions, that might extend it, but
Okay. If when you share your video, there's like a little box and the two little things at the
yeah,
bottom about sharing audio and then optimizing for sharing. Make sure
click
both of
both,
those are
right?
clicked, correct.
Okay,
Because
perfect.
otherwise they will either not hear or it'll lag a lot.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll make sure to click those.
Okay. So yeah, it's low pressure.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. There's just so many of these like popping up now, all
Oh,
the
I know.
that
And
like
it's
I have
hard because
one
you have
in
to, go ahead.
Colorado tonight, and I'm like, I don't know, haven't practiced with any of my, but it's one of like the panel ones, so I'll probably
Okay,
talk for 5 minutes.
that's good. Is it with other engineering type schools or co-op schools or?
They did Michigan schools, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, Kettering usually ends up on one that comes with Eastern Michigan, not Albion. Michigan State usually travels in that group.
Yeah, we did. So I've never done like the physical consortium travel. Usually Bree did that.
Mhm,
But I did the virtual one. We did ours a couple weeks ago.
mhm,
So it was pretty good. We didn't have too many people watch it, but it was recorded, which is good. And
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think, right now in the schools, there are so many people they're just right now, some of them are transitioning based on COVID numbers. They're transitioning to being face to face after being totally virtual. And as you said, there's so many of these popping up. I mean, because when I look through my list, it's like the NACAC rural SIG has a whole list of things. There are other entities that are also doing the same sort of thing. Almost every ACAC is doing something. And
Yeah.
I think it's great because it's a way to connect to some of the schools that you don't normally have time or space or budget to get to. But at the same time, it's just, you don't know what your effect is because you're just talking into a screen. So
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. And then like I did have, are you a counselor somewhere? Or are you an admission?
I actually do a lot of different things. I'm an independent counselor.
Okay.
I'm also the GWI person for OACAC, and
Okay.
I also teach school counseling at the University of Dayton. So I
Oh,
do
awesome.
multiple things.
Yeah, I did my first high school visit was last week, and I had
Yeah.
4 students, and 3 of them weren't showing their cameras, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's hard talking to a screen, and you don't know as a speaker what kind of feedback you're getting. I mean, they could be totally
yeah,
intent and just have a real messy bedroom, or they might have 7 siblings.
exactly.
So
Right,
yeah,
right. I
yeah.
know we're all adjusting, but
I
it
get
went for the most part.
it. Are you a grad of Kettering?
I'm not, no, but I am getting my master's here,
Yeah.
so
What are you majoring in?
just business. I'm no engineer.
Uh, have you had how have the class sizes and stuff been this year? Has it been pretty good?
Good. I mean, my program was completely online, thankfully, so like really wasn't impacted by this. And usually I have like 15 or so people in my class.
Mhm.
So
That's good.
yeah.
Did your undergrad fill?
We are, I think we'll have about close to 400 in our class. So honestly, not too bad with everything that's been happening.
Cool. Well, we just had someone join us. So,
Ooh.
yeah, I know. All right. We got about a minute till we start. I'm going to go ahead and just share the screen with the welcome slide, and we'll get back to you. Okay. How's that? And we'll start right at 3.
Okay. Do you need to cover any information or I can?
There's a little spiel that I have to go
Okay.
over to get us
Perfect.
started, and then I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay,
And you
great.
can introduce yourself and then go from there.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for All Ohio Students by OACAC. If you have questions today, please use the Q&A button to type your questions to the presenters at any time during the presentation. Your camera and microphone are off, you are muted, and the panelists cannot see you or hear you, which is why you need to ask questions through the Q&A button. Today's session is with Kettering University, and it will be recorded. The recording will be available in about a week, and it will be available at www.oacac.org. You are also welcome to sign up for more sessions of the many college presentations that are offered. The schedule is also available at www.oacac.org. And now I'm going to turn it over to our presenter from Kettering University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alicia Flood. I am an admissions counselor at Kettering University. I've been here about 3.5 years or so, and I'm jumping on here today to share some more information with our Ohio students about Kettering University. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now and pull up a presentation that I have just so we all have a nice visual to go along with everything that I mentioned today. But I know that it was mentioned we have the chat feature, so please feel free to add questions into that chat feature and I'll try to answer them kind of as we go along or maybe answer some towards the end as well. So please use that if you have questions throughout the presentation. So to start us off, where Kettering University is, we are actually in Flint, Michigan, so not that far from Ohio, as you can just see just north of Ohio. So we're kind of in the middle of Michigan. And for those of you that don't know, Kettering University, we are an all STEM university. So we were actually founded 100 years ago. We just celebrated our centennial last year, so that was pretty exciting. But we were known as General Motors Institute. So we really focused in on that automotive field and the engineering field for students. And basically, General Motors would send their students to General Motors Institute, and they would go and work for General Motors. So it was a pretty really focused school and program at that time, but we've really expanded since then. So as you can see, we have 14 degree programs, tons of engineering. Mechanical engineering is probably still our largest program here, what we're still known for. But like I said, we offer tons of different engineering. We've added life sciences so students can actually do pre-med. We've added computer science, which is really growing very quickly here at Kettering. We also have a management program too, which is our business program. So there's 14 degree programs. Our newest is just that engineering. So pretty general engineering program. What's really nice about that is we also added a mechatronic systems concentration as well as a robotics concentration too. So that's our newest program here at Kettering. But also we have tons of different concentrations within these majors too. Like for example, if a student is interested in computer science, they can focus specifically on that cybersecurity side of things, or maybe they want to focus more on gaming side of things. So a lot of our majors have concentrations within them, but we also have different minors as well, specialties, pathways. Like we added a green pathway for students who are interested in environmental sciences, so they can take classes that relate to that. So it's a really flexible program in that sense. With all of our different degree programs, when you add on the concentrations, the pathways, the minors. What's also nice is that students, they don't have to necessarily know what they want to go into when they come to Kettering. They can still come in undecided, but as long as they know they want to do something STEM, then we could still be a great fit for them. So they can come in undecided and start to actually try out some of these classes right away as a freshman, which is really great that they're not having to wait until maybe like a junior or a senior to take those core classes that relate to their major. So we are not a liberal arts school, with that being said. So students, as I mentioned, do get to jump right into the math, the science right away as a freshman, try those classes related out to a major to see if they might like it or not, which also allows some wiggle room in there too, to switch majors or maybe add on another major or maybe add on a minor as well. And then I do want to play a video. Oh, I think I might need to stop sharing real quick, share again, make sure you guys can hear the video, see the video good. A little bit more about our learning environment here at Kettering. So there you guys should be able to see it and hear it now.
I knew coming to Kettering, I would get to go right into working on engineering, to learning that skill set and those tools that I need to thrive in my career path.
What I'm working on at work, I'll come back to school and work on the same thing.
I'm trying to create more real-world classroom and laboratory experiences for the students on the way through.
This is my 4th year here now, and it's already changed so much while I've been here. There's been multiple different renovations, additions, so all the D spaces, the library's been renovated.
With the Mobility Research Center and then also the First Robotics Community Center, it gives me that sneak peek into what I will actually be working with down the line.
My favorite place to study is the D space.
I'm in one of the D spaces basically every single weekday. There was an old abandoned room that became a study space. Now it's got TVs on the walls for collaborative lab work and whiteboards everywhere.
We've been able to create places where you can move from the classroom into the lab, back and forth.
We have our T space, which stands for Think, Tinker, and Thrive. People can go in there, you can work on any projects you want. There's 3D printers in there, laser cutters.
Kettering Bill is really you're already prepared for whatever's about to come at you.
I feel like Kettering has provided a place for me to really thrive as myself. It's not the school you left it as.
You definitely want to come back because the school is not nearly the same as what you saw before.
that is just a nice video. I think it shows a lot of campus, which is really great too. Some lab shots in there too. And then this is also our Learning Commons. So we are starting to build our Learning Commons. This is going to be finished in 2022. This is going to be a new collaborative space for students. There's going to be new learning spaces in here for students, kind of like a really big library. There'll be food options in here as well. So this is actually under construction as we speak right on campus and should be finished soon. So we're really excited about that one. And then also just some stats as well about Kettering University. So as I mentioned, we do have a smaller student body, which is really nice because you are going to get in those labs right away. You are going to get in those classrooms right away too, related to your major as well. So it's really nice that we are a smaller student body because you are able to really get that hands-on experience right away. So there's not going to be any classes that are super big here at Kettering. You are also going to know your professor really well. We're not going to have any student grads teaching or lab assistants at all either. So that's really nice as well when it comes to that hands-on approach that we have at Kettering. So a lot of students in that video just mentioned that tons of tinker spaces on campus. We also just redid our 3D printing factory. So those are available for students as well now. So there's just tons of spaces on campus, very hands-on as well. And then also some students in the video mentioned their co-op as well. So here at Kettering, we do have a co-op program. So students at Kettering, they actually work half the year and they go to school for half the year. So students are on campus for 3 months in those labs, taking those classes, and then the next 3 months, they are actually working full-time at a company. So we partner with over 400 co-op partners. And as shown before, we are located in Michigan, but our co-op partners are actually located throughout the whole nation. So they're all over the United States. So students might work maybe close to home. We have multiple opportunities right in Ohio for students. So they might be able to work close to home wherever they are from, or they might choose an opportunity a little bit further from where they live and at home and a little bit further from campus as well. So lots of opportunities, lots of different industries that we partner with, big companies, small companies. What's great about the co-op program too is that it does start freshman year. So our students are able to take 3 months of classes, and then the next 3 months they are actually working full-time right away as freshmen, and they might be working as an engineer somewhere, or a computer scientist, or pre-med students are actually shadowing nurses and doctors in clinicals and in the hospitals. So this program does start freshman year, and every 3 months those students are rotating. So by the time they graduate, that does add up to be about the 2 to 2.5 full years of work experience. Now, students do get help when finding these co-op programs as well. We have a whole team of co-op managers. So a co-op manager will actually help students review their resume and write a new resume, or maybe touch up a resume that they already have. The co-op team also does resume referrals. So once a student's resume is good to go, they actually send it out to companies and say, hey, check out this student, really interested in electrical engineering, think might be a great fit for your company for a co-op position. But also we have an online database too. So students will upload those resumes and then they'll be able to easily apply to positions that way too. And then we also host 3 job fairs. So we host a job fair in the spring, in the summer, and in the fall. So usually anywhere from 75 to maybe 150 companies will actually come to campus. We've been doing them virtually the past few months. So then students can interact with these companies and hand out their resume and chat a little bit more with the company about maybe what they're looking for, what opportunities they might have there. So students aren't necessarily just placed into a co-op, or they're not just on their own trying to find a co-op. It definitely is a mixture between the co-op team and the students themselves. But it is really like a job search. I mean, students are working on resumes, applying to jobs, and then they also go through an interview process, and they usually get some offers that they're able to pick and choose what might be the best offer for them. So from there, they can also stay with that same company throughout the whole time, or they're more than welcome to switch co-op companies too. So it's all about finding that right fit between what the companies are looking for and what our students are looking to do as well. So if a student is maybe thinking they want to do industrial engineering, they start at their co-op position, they get some work experience, they kind of kind of get their feet wet in the field, seeing what different companies are doing, what industrial engineers are working on. They might think, wow, I'm getting some great experience, but what does that guy do? Oh, he's an electrical engineer. I think I might want to do that instead. So it's a great opportunity for students to figure out not only what they do want to do, but also what they don't want to do too. So that's just as important. So by the time they do graduate, they feel ready to go. They feel confident in what their degree is in. They also have the work experience to back that up too. And they also get paid as well at their co-op. So usually students make anywhere from $45,000 to $70,000 in their co-op wages throughout the whole program. So by the time they graduate, they've been able to get that experience, earn some money as well. So when they do go out into the real world for that full-time position after graduation, they're usually able to apply to higher level positions right away as well. And actually about 75% of students do get full-time offers from their co-op company too. So they might just have a job waiting for them before they even graduate, which is very common. A lot of companies too offer additional benefits as well, which is pretty cool. They might offer housing stipends. They might help with travel costs. They might even contribute to your retirement already or give you insurance benefits, things like that. So you're definitely treated as a full-time employee when you're at these companies. It's not just an internship where you're there to shadow or you're there to, just kind of sit in on things, but not necessarily share your opinion or file papers. You are working on projects, you have responsibilities, you're part of the team. And a lot of times too, the companies will have our co-op students give presentations at the end of their co-op so they can talk about what they've been working on. And then after the co-op term ends, students will evaluate their company and the companies will evaluate them as well. So students can earn that co-op credit. So you're not necessarily given a grade, but you are given a credit by completing those evaluations. So just lots of support within this co-op program too, not only from your co-op manager, but the co-op companies themselves as well. It's a phenomenal program that really just lets students jump right in and not have to wait until, maybe one summer to do a one-time internship or wait until the end of their program to do an internship. Because what if you go through the whole program, you do your internship, you're actually in the real world working on stuff or seeing what it's like to be an engineer or a computer scientist or a mathematician, and you realize, I didn't realize this is what it was about. Maybe this isn't what I'm interested in. So the co-op program truly allows students to jump right in and get a huge head start with their education and with that work experience too. And then on top of that as well, like I said, it just really sets you up for success when you graduate too. And if you think about anything that you've done in life, whether it's sports or maybe playing an instrument, really anything, you don't just want to read about it for 4 years, right? You want to get out there and you want to do it. So that's exactly what this co-op program allows our students to do, is they get to learn about it in those labs, those classrooms, and then take it to the real world as well. And students really love the schedule with the 3 months on, 3 months off, because a lot of students say, by the time they're tired of going to school and studying for those 3 months, they get a break and they actually get to go to their co-op. And then by the time they're kind of tired of their co-op, they get to come back to school too. So it is a 4.5-year program in total. And about 2 to 2.5 that would be the work experience. And then we also split up our student body in half, as I mentioned too. So while half the campus is here taking classes, or half the student body is on campus, the other half is actually at their co-op learning. And then every 3 months they switch, and they do get breaks in between there too. So they do still get a week off in the fall, a week off in the spring. They get a traditional holiday break in December, January. And then they still do get a summer break about mid-June to mid-July. So they get a little bit of a break there as well. And then just some of our companies too. So as I mentioned, we do partner with over 400 companies, so there's lots to choose from. But these are just some more well-known companies that we're partnered with too. Tons of companies. And even if students maybe have a company in mind that we don't currently partner with, our co-op team can always reach out to them to see if they'd be willing to join our program as well. So I do want to share a video as well. Quick video about what some of our students are doing at their co-op to kind of get a better sense. So we'll go ahead, whoops, go back to the beginning.
so much more than just scribe, which was just follow the doctor around and type everything up. I get to take people's blood pressure. I get to give people shots, do blood work. We usually see like 60 to 90 people a day. Sometimes it's really, really busy, like we're under a lot of pressure. It helps with handling pressures in the real world.
Kettering co-ops are unique because not only do we learn in the classroom, we actually get the opportunity to go out in the real world and experience the jobs that we're going to be having in the future. I think that I'll end up staying here at Dark Container. I like what goes on here. I like the community here and everything, and I like my coworkers, and it's a good experience.
Personally, for me, you start getting work experience right from the beginning because I'm a freshman. At other schools, you do an internship in your junior, senior year. Kettering is unique because I get to know exactly what I want to do starting right off in college.
So that is kind of a nice video to see some students. Oh, let me, hold on.
This is Kettering.
Stop sharing again and exit out of that. Okay, and we'll jump back into the presentation. But as that video shows, like our students are doing real world stuff, which is awesome. And it is required to complete the co-op program to graduate. So students are required to complete 5 co-op terms. A majority of students will actually jump right in and complete 8 or 9 co-op terms. So that way that adds up to that 2 to 2.5 years of work experience too. And when it comes to that schedule of A section, B section, where we split that student body in half too, students can actually choose what they want to be in. They'll be randomly assigned to begin with, but then they can choose because some companies will hire A section students, some companies will hire B section students. So students can actually choose maybe which schedule might work better for them with that co-op and with school. I think we are one of the only schools in the nation that has a co-op program as extensive as we do, where it does start right away freshman year too. So from there, we'll jump into some student life stuff, but kind of already mentioned this. We are ranked #1 nationally for career prep just because that co-op program, as I said, students are able to graduate. They're able to get higher level positions right away, also with higher salaries too. So our average starting salary right now is $85,000 for a Kettering grad. So pretty good coming right out of school, right? Being like 22, 23 years old, being able to pay off any loans you have, being able to pay off any debt, really just being able to jump right in and have a great salary, have a higher position as well within your actual industry too. So as I mentioned, we do have a lot of student life opportunities as well. So all students at Kettering that freshman year, they are required to live on campus in our student housing, which is Thompson Hall. This Thompson Hall has an awesome setup. So all students actually get their own room at Kettering. And they are here for those 3 months for school. And then the next 3 months, they do actually move out when it comes to co-op. So the rooms themselves are actually set up really nicely. We try to provide as much stuff as possible for our students because we know that they're going to be here for 3 months and then they're heading out to co-op and then back for 3 months as well for the rest of their freshman year. So they have carpet in them already. As you can see, they come pretty much fully furnished. So they have the bed, they have a desk, a chair, a bookshelf, tons of storage space in there too. And then we also provide a mini fridge and freezer microwave combo in there for students as well. So Thompson Hall is a great setup. Like I said, everybody does get their own room and you are required to live there as a freshman. But then students can move off campus from there if they wish, or they can continue to live in Thompson Hall. But Greek life is kind of popular here at Kettering University. About 40% of students participate in Greek life. So students might choose to live with their fraternity or sorority after Thompson Hall, or we have campus village apartments right across the street, or students might just choose to live in local houses as well with other students too. So everybody generally stays pretty close to campus, which is awesome too, that nobody is really commuting from that far of distance. So the student body is pretty close in the community as well. And then tons of sports and clubs too. So it is tough to have varsity sports here at Kettering with that co-op program, but intramural sports are extremely popular. Our rec center has 2 basketball courts, 2 multi-purpose courts where students will do tennis or dodgeball, indoor soccer, volleyball. We also have an indoor track. We have weight rooms. We have exercise rooms. So tons of stuff in the rec center as well. There is a pool, hot tub, sauna in there too, but just tons of clubs and organizations. So as I mentioned, the intramural sports will be held in the rec center, but also tons of student organizations. So we have some organizations that are directly related to different majors. So like there is a pre-med club, and the chemical engineering club is super active. We have some groups that are associated with different students of color. So we have the National Society of Black Engineers, we have a National Society of Hispanic Engineers, we do have an Asian American club as well. We also have Society of Women Engineers too, so some clubs for our female students. And then we also have just a ton of fun clubs too, right? So rock climbing is really popular. We do have a Society of Automotive Engineers club as well. They will actually build and compete in a Formula One. I believe I have a slide for them too, so you'll be able to see some pictures, but they compete in a Formula One. I'm just going to jump to it right here. Yeah, so they compete in Formula One, which is a race car style, the Baja, which is the off-road vehicle. They build an airplane as well, a remote control one, and they fly that. And then there's also a snowmobile competition too. So that is a club that actually travels and competes against other schools as well. And then we do have an auto drive team as well. So they are working on building a level 4 autonomous vehicle right now too. What's really nice too is that we have a mobility research center on campus. So a lot of clubs or classes are able to jump on there and drive cars or test the autonomous vehicles on there too. But to kind of jump back, we did start an esports program as well. And this is actually considered a varsity sport, which is pretty exciting. So esports is really big. So we do have tons of different games that our students are able to play with our esports team too. So lots to do right on campus with all those clubs and organizations. A couple pictures of campus here, but some of the cool clubs that I've heard of, like there's a grill club. They literally just go outside and grill meat, which I think is awesome. And a lot of the clubs too will actually advertise different things that are happening on campus. We also have a student council here at Kettering. We have alumni speakers come all the time. So there's a group that actually sets up those to come back to campus. So there's just lots of stuff to do right on campus. I know some students who are involved in like juggling club. We have students who are involved in gaming clubs. We have a lot of clubs that will go off campus as well in our community too. So we are located in Flint, as I mentioned, but we do also have a FIRST Robotics community center. So a lot of students have been involved in FIRST Robotics at the high school level, and then they continue to do that here at the college level on campus. So we host tons of summer camps in our FIRST Robotics Community Center, as well as 10 local high school teams actually build out of the FIRST Center here. So a lot of our Kettering students are mentors. We host multiple competitions as well. So a lot of students will stay involved in FIRST Robotics. And then fun fact, we do actually have a football stadium right down the road, even though we don't have a varsity football team, but that's a great space once again for those intramural sports and different events to be held throughout the year too. And then Flint, Michigan is just a couple blocks from campus. So there's lots of stuff to do downtown as well. Local shops, local restaurants. The farmers market is amazing. They host different festivals throughout the year too. So we have the Crim Festival of Races, Back to the Bricks, where people just bring their old classic cars downtown and people can walk around. So lots of great stuff to do right on campus, but also off campus too. And then study abroad is also an option right now. Unfortunately, it's put on hold, but students can study abroad. A lot of students will go to Germany, and that is a great program because all of the classes that students are able to take are in English, right? Because I mentioned we actually don't teach foreign languages here at Kettering. So students can continue on with their program, but also get to experience a new culture. And also some co-op companies might have locations that are outside the United States as well. So students have gotten an opportunity to not only study abroad, but also potentially co-op abroad too, which is an amazing experience to be able to put on your resume. So to jump into a little bit of our admissions requirements here at Kettering and our application process. So our application right now for seniors, it is open and it's free to complete online. So students can either jump right onto our website, kettering.edu, and easily find that application, or go to the Common App .org. We're also on the Common App, so whatever is easiest for students works great for us too. But it is free to apply. It's a pretty easy application. It's just a general information, and then there is going to be an essay on there as well. But there's tons of essay prompts, so tons of different topics that you could write about for your essay as well. So submit the online application. As long as students submit it by November 15th, they will hear back from us a couple weeks after they submit their application. And I always encourage students to try to apply in that fall of their senior year, or at least by that November, December date, because we actually host a lot of events for accepted students. We also have tons of scholarships as well. So the sooner students can get in that application, the more that they are going to be able to participate as an applicant and as an admitted student as well. So the application itself is one thing that's definitely required, but also high school transcript. So an official high school transcript from your counselor. So on a high school transcript, when we're reading those in admissions, we are going to mainly look at math, science, and then your English classes as well. Because as I mentioned, students are jumping right into the math and the science right here when they get started as freshmen. So as far as a math class, we are going to require a class that is either pre-calc or trigonometry based. A lot of students do also come in with a calculus level, but if you do have pre-calc or trigonometry, you'll be good to go. And then a science with a lab. So we do require science with a lab, which would include either physics or chemistry. So as long as students have either physics or chemistry, they should meet that requirement. And then 4 years of English, which is pretty standard as well. Our average GPA is about a 3.7. However, we do require at least a 3.0. So we do take a weighted GPA. So as long as students have at least a 3.0 or higher and meet those course requirements, then they should be in pretty good shape. So like I said, the application is super easy. Just submit the application online, send in those official high school transcripts. We have gone test optional this year and next year. So students do not have to submit official ACT or SAT scores if they do not want to. It won't hurt their application in any way. If they choose to send those as well, we'll always be happy to look those over. But if students do not wish to send those, that's completely fine. They are not required for this year or next year. Same with letters of recommendation. If students send in letters of recommendation, we'll definitely look those over. We will read through those, but they are not required in the admissions process. So super easy application, doesn't take too long at all. And like I said, once you apply, if you apply by November 15th, you will hear back from us a couple of weeks after. And then also when you're looking at college applications too, definitely look into the FAFSA. So the FAFSA does open up in October every year for seniors. So look into that FAFSA with your family, complete that FAFSA. Our Kettering student code is right down here. Send that to Kettering, send that to all the schools that you're actually looking at, because colleges are going to be able to look at that information and then hopefully be able to award you additional grants, additional scholarships, additional aid as well. So you can send that to Kettering, but we also have tons of other scholarships to keep in mind, which I'll show the scholarships on the next slide. But when it comes to Kettering University, we are a private school, so our tuition is going to be a little bit higher, but tons of ways to bring that down. And also, because we're a private school, it doesn't matter where you come from. So students in Michigan, students in Ohio, students in California, they all pay that same price. But we have tons of scholarships. So merit-based scholarships, that's going to actually be based off of students' GPA. And those range anywhere from 8,500 all the way up to 17,500 every year. So that is a reoccurring scholarship that students are able to get just because they did so great in high school. So we have the merit-based scholarships. That's going to be based off of the GPA. Co-op earnings, keep in mind too, you're going to be making some great money at your co-op. Like I said, usually students are able to make, at least $10,000 a year at their co-op. Usually it's closer to $12,000, $15,000 a year through those co-ops. Submit the FAFSA for the need-based assistance. We also do have jobs on campus for students as well, but also check with your counselors, check with your parents, people in your community, things you're involved in, because a lot of organizations have scholarship dollars that actually go unused. So please look at other resources as well for scholarships. Here at Kettering, everything just continues to add up, all of those scholarships, and every little bit helps. So definitely look at outside resources too. And then our Kettering scholarships, we have a lot to choose from as well. So like I said, that merit-based scholarship, that's going to be awarded to you basically just by applying and sending in that transcript that's going to have your official GPA on it. But we also have some specific scholarships too. So if students have been involved in maybe like a robotics club or DECA or Business Professionals of America, or they've done a program maybe like Square One where they've been able to get some mobility and vehicle competition experience, or they've done coding and programming through different clubs or organizations. We have some very specific scholarships for those, but we also have some more general scholarships too. So our affinity scholarship, if students have had a parent or a grandparent go to Kettering or General Motors Institute, when we were General Motors Institute, you could apply for that scholarship. Pre-med scholarship for students looking to study pre-med. And then our Kettering Recognizes Excellence Scholarship too. That is a pretty general one, which is great because students can write about an accomplishment, an achievement that they've done, and go from there. And then what's really nice about all of our scholarships too is that we award a lot for each of these. So it's not just one student gets a robotics scholarship, one student gets a pre-med scholarship. So we're pretty generous with our scholarships. In fact, last year for our robotics, we offered 75 scholarships out, and those were worth up to $5,000 a year. So these scholarships also are reoccurring scholarships too. So definitely look into Kettering scholarships. Most of these do have a deadline of February 1st. Some have a deadline of March 1st. Some are rolling as well, so you can apply for them at any time in the year. But as I mentioned before, this is really why I do encourage students to look into applying early so they have access to additional scholarships. We do have fixed rate tuition as well, so that's really nice. Kettering does not actually increase their tuition. That is very different from some other schools out there. Most schools will increase their tuition year by year. So by the time you're a sophomore, junior, senior, that tuition is increasing every year. So we do freeze our tuition price for you, so you do know what your tuition is every term, every year. So that really helps save some dollars in the long run too. So just lots of opportunities out there. And then also, as I mentioned too, you're going to come out with a good job. You're going to come out making some great money from Kettering as well. So if you do have loans, if you do have any student debt, you should be able to pay that off quite quickly as well, just because that co-op program really sets those students up for success after graduation. But that kind of wraps up most of what I wanted to talk about. I do have some visit opportunities as well for students. So students can actually come to campus. So we did open up our campus tours again. We offer those Monday through Friday. You'll be able to meet some students on campus, meet with admissions as well, and just kind of see campus. The tour right now is a little bit limited, but you're still able to see the foundation and still see inside some buildings as well. And then we do also have virtual events as well. So we have tons of virtual videos. As I was showing some videos on YouTube, that's a great resource for students, social media. So definitely check out our website as well, kettering.edu/visit for physical visits on campus, but also for all of those virtual opportunities too. And then last but not least, I just wanted to kind of leave my information up here. Like I said, my name's Alicia. And here's my email as well. So if students do have questions or families do have questions, please feel free to reach out to me or jump on our website, kettering.edu, to learn more. You can actually schedule a virtual meeting, as I mentioned before, with admissions or with co-op or with financial aid. And then also for students, you can use this QR code, kind of hold your phone up to it, open your camera, and then if you hold it over that QR code, you should be able to access our card, so you can put in your information, and then we'll be able to follow up with some additional Kettering information too. So thank you, everybody. It doesn't look like we have any questions here, but thank you, everybody, for watching and attending. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any additional questions after watching this presentation.
All right. Thank you, Alicia, for all of that information. I'm sharing, I hope, the final thing, the final slide that says, thank you for joining us for this virtual college exploration. If you did attend, there will be a quick 4-question survey after you close your window. You may sign up for more sessions at www.oacac.org, and a recording of this session will be available at www.oacac.org in about a week. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for sharing information about Kettering University, and I hope everyone has a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.